long. But that's the way it is with war, isn't it? But these, ladies, yes, well, what might they be up to? What powers do they possess?
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, in lightning, or in rain?
And when these three meet, dire consequences are trouble.
When the battle cry is done, when the battle's lost and won, thou shalt be here to set aside. There the place upon the heath to meet Macbeth. Macbeth, that doesn't rhyme.
You see, it's the future, their power, the ability to predict the future. Macbeth, Thane of Glamis, a loyal soldier fighting in that battle just over the hill. A loyal subject, a good man, well, as good as any of the rest of us, with his dreams, his aspirations. We all have our ambitions. The difference between men is the length that they will go to in order to acquire those dreams. Meanwhile, the battle rages on.
Malcolm, Tom, quickly!
Duncan, the Scottish king, and his son Malcolm and Donalbain, heirs to the throne.
What bloody man is this? He must come from the battle.
This is the brave sergeant who saved me from capture. Hail, friend!
Tell the king what has happened in this battle, if thou shouldst leave it.
My liege, the outcome looked doubtful. The merciless Macdonald from the western isles of Kerns and Gallipasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarrel was smiling.
What? I don't understand.
The rebel, Macdonald, was being reinforced from Ireland, and luck was certainly on his side.
Oh!
But all's too weak for brave Macbeth, his brandished steel smoking with bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out his passage till he reached the slave, which ne'er had time to shake hands nor bade farewell to him, till he was split from the nave to the chop, and his head was fixed upon our battlements.
What? I'm sorry.
The rebel Macbeth cut his way straight through the battle to Macdonald, who didn't have any time to say goodbye or shake hands before Macbeth split him from the navel to the jawbone and put his head on the castle wall.
Oh, okay. You have done well, Sergeant.
Thank you, my lord.
You brave soldier, it's forest and over.
You must go back to your home, your family, your work.
Aye, my lord, back to my home, my work, but now I must take my leave. I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
I'm sorry.
My wounds are pretty bad, and I am going to need a doctor.
Oh, okay.
Brave men,
What is his work?
English teacher, methinks.
Oh!
King Duncan and Prince Malcolm watched the battle from the top of a hill. For though the traitor Macdonald was killed, the Norwegians, their allies, now attacked. And a fearsome conflict it was, and they were twice again in number. Without hesitation, Macbeth drove from the field his enemies. Banquo, the other captain of the field, fought bravely as well. Thrice attacked and thrice counterattacked, and time and again Macbeth beat back his enemies. Until at last, the king's captains were victorious.
Well done, Macbeth. Thane of Glamis. Now, to the king of the sea. He and his family, they be safe now.
That they shall. Come, it will be a walk to get there. Let us go.
Now that walk,
3 times to yours, and 3 times to mine, and 3 times again to add up to 9.
The charm is ready.
I've never seen such a day, which was so good yet so bad at the same time.
How far is it supposed to be to forest? What are these creatures? They look like nothing on this earth. Are you alive?
It would seem they are.
You look like women. No, certainly not attractive ones.
Speak if you can. What kind of creatures are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to you, Thane of Glom! All hail Macbeth! Hail to you, Thane of Cawdor! All hail Macbeth, the future king!
Good friend, why are you so startled? If this is true, this is good news. Are you illusions? Is what you speak the truth? What you have told my noble friend has rendered him speechless. But to me you speak not. If you could make the future, tell me, how will things turn for me?
Hail! Hail! You are less than Macbeth, but also greater!
You are not as happy as Macbeth, but much happier.
Your descendants will be kings, even though you will not be one. So all hail Macbeth and they'll quo. Thank you, Macbeth! All hail!
Stay, imperfect speakers. I am truly the Thane of Glom, but how can I be the Thane of Cawdor? That man lives.
Friend, dear God,
Were they ever here? Your sons, they will be kings.
you will be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too. Isn't that what they said?
Exactly what they said.
Who is this?
Hail Macbeth, the king sends you his thanks. And your reward. Hail Thane of Cawdor.
Why so? The Thane of Cawdor lives.
He who is the Thane of Cawdor lives, but he will soon be dead. He fought on the side of Norway, who is defeated.
What? Can the devil speak true?
It's just as the witches said. Now I'm the Thane of Glom and the Thane of Cawdor, and the best part of their prediction is still to come. 2 things have been told, and 1 has come true.
Who can blame a man for thoughts that might come into his head?
Duncan is king. His sons are his heirs, not me. How could they possibly be pushed aside for me to ascend to that throne?
All these thoughts rushing into his head, they would all have to be dead. But how? Murder.
What? How? Why? Does the thought of murder cross my mind? Whose horrid images unfix my hair and cause my heart to knock against my ribs? Good friend, what made you love this?
If you trust what they say, you might be on your way to becoming king. But this whole thing is strange. The agents of evil often tell us parts of the truth in order to lead us to our destruction. The betrayal that damages us comes later.
If chance would have me be king, then chance may crown me without having to stir.
Aye, that it may.
Let's go to the king.
Macbeth is pretty excited now. So much so that he sends a letter home to his wife. So we'll now go to the castle of Macbeth. Ah, there she is, Lady Macbeth, with the letter just received from her husband.
The witches met me on the day of my victory in battle. While I stood there, spellbound, the messengers from the king arrived. They greeted me, Thane of Cawdor, which is precisely how the weird sisters greeted me, right before they called me future king. My dearest partner in greatness, keep this secret, and farewell.
Now most wives will be very happy with the news. Her husband has just gotten a big promotion.
You are Thane of Glom and Cawdor, and you will be king, just like you have been promised.
But Lady Macbeth is not your typical wife.
But I worry whether or not you have what it takes to seize the crown.
She has a bit of an edge.
You are too full of the milk of human kindness.
She will not want to wait on this.
Hurry home, so that I may pour my spirit into thine ear.
My lady,
What is it?
the king comes here tonight.
Here? Tonight?
Aye, my lady, and doesn't have to head home. He'll arrive at any moment.
Go then, and look after your master when he arrives.
Now for Lady Macbeth, this news is just too good to be true. And now you'll get a little further insight into this lady.
Come, you spirits that assist murderous thoughts. Unsex me here.
That means make me a little more like a man than a woman.
Fill me from head to toe with deadly cruelty. Thicken my blood and clog up my veins so that I will not feel remorse. Turn my mother's milk into poisonous acid, you murdering demons. Come thick night and cover the world in the darkest smoke of hell, so that my sharp knife Like a coarse raven, he announces Duncan's entrance into my fortress, where he will die.
Behind every great man.
My wife,
My husband, Thane of Glum and Thane of Cawdor, and soon to become king.
my dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when does he leave?
Tomorrow.
That day will never come. You will leave this to me. You must not betray our plans with your expressions. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent that lies beneath.
We should speak further about this.
And in case there is any doubt as to who wears the chain mail in this family,
Reject a peaceful mood. Do not know trouble. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle is no pleasant place. The air is sweet and appeals to my senses. It's a peaceful and serene place, a safe haven for Macbeth's friends. Look, here comes our honored hostess.
Your Highness, we gladly welcome you as our guests. We are your servants, and as always, our house and everything in it is at your disposal.
Take my hand and lead me to your husband. Leave London and Jack is taking the paper.
yes, to Macbeth. Macbeth, whose head must surely be spinning by now.
If it were done when it is done, then 'twere well if it were done quickly.
Meaning, if he's going to do it, he needs to hurry up and do it. Macbeth has a lot to think about here. Consequences, for instance.
For crimes like these, there are punishments in this world.
Indeed.
Justice will force us to drink from the poisoned shallows we serve to others.
And Duncan, the man himself, does he deserve this?
He is here in double trust. First, I am his kinsman who should be barring the door against evil, not bearing the knife myself. And he has been nothing but a humble leader, so free from corruption that his virtue will speak for him when he dies.
No matter how he considers it, there is only one reason for Macbeth to murder Duncan.
Ambition. Vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself, that causes oneself to rush ahead toward disaster without thought.
So, second thoughts. He's not a monster, our Macbeth. He knows Duncan is a good man, and he's not stupid. He knows people are going to be upset if Duncan is killed. He's not mean, he's not ignorant, he's not unfeeling, but he is married
Why did you leave the dining room?
to her.
You can't go on with this plan.
Were you drunk when you seemed so hopeful before? And now you've awoken, green and pale with fear?
The king has honored me. I have heard a good opinion of all.
Are you afraid to act the way you desire? From now on, this is how I will think of your love.
Please stop. I dare do what's only proper for a man. Who dares do more is not.
If you weren't a man, then what kind of animal were you when you dared to do it?
And now, good patrons of the theater, Our Lady Macbeth is about to demonstrate exactly what she meant when she said she may have to pour her spirits into Macbeth's ear. And you, good patrons, might want to cover yours, if you're a bit squeamish, to avoid that spirit from entering your own.
When you dare to do it, then you are a man. And if you go one step further by doing what you dare to do, you'll be that much more the man. I have given suck and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from its smiling gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail,
Me? Fail? But screw your courage to the sticking place and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, I'll bring wine to the servants guarding his door. When they are drunk asleep, we may do whatever we will. And whatever we do, we can lay on the drunken servants by morning. Prepare thyself. I will ring the bell when it is ready.
may you only give birth to male children. Go then, and pretend to be a friendly hostess. False face you must hide and the false heart must know.
And at that dinner, Macbeth was given more gifts and titles. King Duncan was most generous, lavishing praise on the Thane of Glamis, the Thane of Cawdor. How does this happen? To murder someone who is so kind to you, for now he is intent on killing him.
Is this a dagger which I see before me?
What damage would that do to a normal man's mind?
Its handle, toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee.
He's hallucinating, as would you.
I have thee not, yet I see thee still. Murder, being aroused by the howls of the wolf, walks silently to his destination. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
Yes. The bell meant that Lady Macbeth has drugged Duncan's bedchambers, and our worthy Thane is on his way to complete the night's work.
The alcohol that got the servants drunk has made me bold. Macbeth must be killing the king at this moment. I left the servants' daggers where he could find them. He couldn't have missed them.
One might logically ask, why didn't Lady Macbeth just kill Duncan herself?
Had he not resembled my own father as he lay there asleep, I would have killed him myself.
It's good to know there is some tenderness.
My husband,
I've done the deed. Dost thou hear a noise?
owls and crickets.
I passed by our room on the way here. A servant, praying, he cried, God bless us, and amen. I couldn't reply. I couldn't say amen.
Consider it not so deeply.
But why couldn't I say amen? I desperately needed God's blessing.
We cannot think about these deeds. It will drive us mad.
And then I thought I heard a voice say, sleep no more. Macbeth hath murdered sleep.
What do you mean?
Macbeth hath murdered sleep. Macbeth will sleep no more.
You make yourself weak when you think about things in this cowardly way. Why did you bring the daggers here? Take them back. Smear the sleeping servants with the blood and leave them there.
I'll go no more. I dare not look at it again.
Coward, give me the daggers. The sleeping and dead are but as pictures. Only children fear them. If Duncan still bleeds, I'll paint the sleeping servants with his blood, for it must seem their guilt.
What's that knocking? What is happening to me that I'm frightened of every noise? My hands. All the water in the oceans could not clean them. They would stench on the green waters red. Wait, Duncan, with your knocking. I wish you could.
Of course, Macbeth needn't be concerned with the knocking at the gate. That's the responsibility of the porter.
Here's a lot of knocking. Middle of the night. I suppose it could be the worst. I might have been the poor at the gates of hell. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the devil's name? Maybe it's, well, here's a farmer who hated himself because he had enough money. Hope you brought a handkerchief. You'll sweat it up here. Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Maybe it's some slick, two-faced con man who lied under oath. But he found out you can't lie to God, so now he's going to hell for perjury. Come on in, con man. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Maybe it's a tailor who likes to skimp on fabric. But now that type of pants are in fashion, he couldn't get away with it. Come on in, tailor. You can heat up your iron in here. Knock, knock. Now who? A lawyer, is it? Sorry, no evidence to you. We do need to maintain some standard. You go to bed so late, good porter. That you're having a hard time getting up now? Aye, sir. We were drinking till 3 a.m. And drink makes a man do 3 things. And what 3 things does drink make a man do? Turns your nose red, puts you to sleep, and causes one to urinate. And of course, gives him the lie.
I don't think the drink gave you the lie last night.
Aye, sir, but I got the best of drink.
How so?
I threw it all up. Whoa. Is your master in?
Arnott, wait. Here he is. Morning, sir.
Good morning to the both of you.
Is the king starting work today?
Not yet.
He had commanded me to wake him early. I've almost missed the hour.
Come, I will take you to him.
And with that, of course, the murder is discovered. There is much shouting and crying and gnashing of teeth. And what of those 2 poor guards? Macbeth, in a fit of pretended anger, kills them on the spot. Now those guards, those 2 unfortunate guards, what might they be thinking now, after death?
What was that all about? Were we just killed? I think so. Why? Pray tell. For the murder of the king. Did we? I know not. Are we at heaven? Yeah! It would appear
happened, and all over the castle there is turmoil. Malcolm and Donalbain, Duncan's sons and heirs to the throne.
Why should we hold our tongues? We should have the most to say.
What should be said here when danger is waiting to strike us from anywhere? We dare not even pause to grieve in this place.
True enough, we know not who caused this, and it is easy for the false man to show unfelt sorrow.
Our closest kin could be our worst enemy, all the way in case to Ireland and you to England. We will mourn this later when there is time and safety.
And by hastily leaving only cause themselves to seem suspect. Since the sons are thought to be complicit in Duncan's death, Macbeth becomes king.
Thou hast it all now, Macbeth. Glamis, Cawdor, and king, just as the women had promised, and I suspect that flame was foully for it. But they also prophesied that not your descendants, but mine shall be future kings. So I'll leave all alone and stay out of thy way, but soft he approaches.
Here is our most important guest.
If you had been forgotten, our celebration would not be complete.
We hold a ceremonial banquet, and I request your presence.
Whatever His Majesty commands me to do, that is my duty.
How will you pass your time, Lady Banquo?
I will ride. My horse is waiting at the gates.
Take care. Is your son Cleon's riding with you?
Aye, my lord.
Take care that you are back by 7. There is none but Banquo's being I do fear. The witches prophesy that his sons are to be kings. I have handed over my everlasting soul to the devils that his sons can be kings. I will change that.
And so Macbeth sends 2 murderers to kill Banquo and his son, Fleance, as they ride.
Has Banquo left?
Aye, madam, but he will return tonight.
Banquo and his son leave the castle on horseback.
Why this countenance? You must relax and put on a contented face for our guest.
We have slashed the snake, but not yet killed it. I eat my meals in fear, and spend my nights tossing and turning.
Macbeth's murderers caught up with the father and son on the heath, leading away from the castle.
Things without remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
Banquo and his son still live, but they can die.
What have you done?
Banquo is killed.
Better you do not know. Full of scorpions in my mind.
Not bad, all spent. Where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy, and by destruction dwell in doubtful joy.
Banquo is killed, but Fleance escapes. That evening at the ceremonial banquet, Macbeth, hallucinating, sees the ghost of the murdered Banquo sitting across from him at the table. Lady Macbeth hurries everyone out, explaining away her husband's behavior as a malady he sometimes suffers. Macbeth tells his wife he cannot go on not knowing what will happen, so he's going to see the witches again. The witches. I think this is how everything got started in the first place. Meanwhile, talk around Scotland is more and more against Macbeth.
Duncan killed by his son, and now shall we say that Banquo was killed by his 12-year-old son?
I tell you, the murderer who killed both now wears the crown.
Where is Macbeth?
In England with Malcolm and Prince Edward. Even now, Macbeth mounts an army to march against.
And do Malcolm and Macduff prepare as well?
I know what they do.
2 of the most well-known quotes from Shakespeare's Macbeth. What's done is done, and something wicked this way comes.
Gather round, a tale is told. Murderers and witches bold. Come a little closer.
me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand we will answer.
Tell what I need to know.
We know that gods, but hear you this say not. Beware the thane of life. Beware Macbeth.
They have guessed exactly what I feared. More!
Be bloody bold and resolute. Laugh to scorn the coward man, for none of them born shall harm Macbeth.
I can be harmed by no man.
Or naturally a woman. Take no care where conspirators are. Macbeth shall never defeated the until great Burnham Wood and hide us in the hills that come up against him.
That'll never be. Who can command the forest to make the trees pull the roots out of the earth? I am safe. But one more thing. Shall Banquo's sons ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know, no.
But Macbeth demanded to be shown, and so the witches did so. Images of future kings, one after the other, they pushed into Macbeth's mind, all undeniably the issue of Banquo. So Macbeth is told he won't be defeated until the very woods of Burnham walk against him, that he cannot be killed of any natural-born man, but no son of his shall ever be king. The first two make him bold, the latter turns his mind to poison. His next intended act would be to kill Macduff, but Macduff is in England trying to convince Malcolm and Prince Edward to wage war against Macbeth. So Macbeth slaughters Macduff's wife and children. Meanwhile, back at Macbeth's castle, Lady Macbeth's maid consults with her doctor.
Ever since His Majesty went out into the field, Lady Macbeth walks at night in sleep. Often.
Does she speak?
Aye, doctor, she speaks.
What does she say?
That I will not tell you. You may hear for yourself. Lo, here she comes. This is exactly as she always looks. Fast asleep. Observe her. Stand close.
Her eyes are open.
Aye, but she sees nothing.
Look at the way she rubs her hands.
This action is accustomed with her. It seems to be thus of washing her hands.
Listen.
Out, damn spot! Out, I say! What we need ears who knows it, but none can call our power to account. Yet who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The day of life had a wife, where is she now? What? Will these hands dare be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You'll ruin everything by acting startled.
You have heard what you should not have heard.
She has spoken. She should not have spoken.
Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia could not sweeten this little hand.
What a size there. Her heart treats such as a burden.
I would not want a heart such as hers.
This disease is beyond my medical skills. Still, I have no sleepwalkers who are guilty of nothing.
Come, come, to bed, to bed. What's done cannot be undone. To bed.
This woman needs a priest more than a doctor. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove anything she might harm herself with. Watch her constantly. I have an opinion, but I dare not speak. Good night.
Lady Macbeth is losing touch with reality. Macbeth lost it a while back. But worse, Macbeth is now reviled by his people. He murders those whom he thinks might oppose him. His soldiers are deserting his army to fight for the other side. That army, led by Malcolm, Macduff, and Prince Edward of England, is approaching to lay siege to the castle. Macbeth is holed up in the castle at Dunsinane. As Macduff's soldiers leave Burnham Wood to attack the castle, Macduff orders them to take branches from the trees to hold up in front of them as they advance, camouflage, so to speak.
Hang our banners on the outer walls. Our castle strength will laugh off their siege. What is that noise?
Cries of women, my lord.
Find what is amiss. I've almost forgotten the taste of fear. There was once a time when I would have been terrified of such a street, but now I've had my fill of real horrors. Horrible things are so familiar that they cannot startle me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen is dead, my lord. I will see to the battlements.
She would have died hereafter. There would have been a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in at this penny pace, from day to day for the last syllable of recorded time. and all our yesterdays have lighted the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Good my lord, I can report that which I say I saw, but I know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked towards Burnham, and anon, methought the wood began to move.
Liar!
You may punish me if it be not true. Come, look for yourself.
If thou speakst false, from the next tree shalt thou hang alive. If true, you do the same to me. Go! Don't worry until Burnham Wood comes to Dunsinane. And now it does.
Macbeth's army was easily defeated. Of course, no one was able to kill Macbeth. Remember the witch's prophecy? No man born of woman can harm him. Eventually, the fight came down to Macbeth and Macduff. They fought for some time, neither one giving way to the other.
You're wasting your time. I lead a charmed life. I can be harmed by no man born naturally of woman.
Spare thy charm, and let the devil thou servest tell thee, Macduff is from his mother's womb, untimely ripped!
Which means, of course, that Macduff was not naturally born of woman. Untimely ripped from a mother's womb would be Shakespearean for cesarean. And so he is slain. Malcolm is crowned king. Macbeth leaves an empty, reviled legacy. But before you leave this theater, condemning this man, consider how different you might or might not be. Consider your possible reaction to the promise of fame, fortune, glory, to the advice you might be receiving from your supernatural, spiritual advisors, your witches, who's whispering in your ear.